I was dancing with myself. Good morning. This is Lisa Marie. I hope you're perfect, whole, and complete. Y'all, I think eating so little, I don't feel like I sleep as much, or I don't need as much sleep. Although I need more than I'm been getting, but I can go off a lot less. And I remember that being raw. And now I'm raw, but I'm raw like I'm not even eating a lot. When I first went raw, when I first, like a while ago, when I was living in California, I would eat a lot. I would eat a lot because when you come from cooked food to raw food, you're very hungry, or your body's used to more food. So you just eat and eat and eat, and it's like never really feel like enough. Now I don't eat that much, and it takes very little to sustain me. Renee, it's going to be a good day because you're here. I want to thank you. Thank you, baby. So yeah, I know that this. So but I remember that about raw was a raw food high, where, and I'm starting to think about this now. It was a raw food high, right, where you just was channeling and you had all this energy where you literally couldn't sleep. Um, and I think it is that raw food, when you do have it, even though I was having it in the kind of, I call it the old raw food traditional way, which was just was a lot of food. But it was all raw, it was all high quality. If you did oils then, everything was so high quality, and it was light and it was organic, so it was good. It was good for you. But I think when as you get older and then you start doing raw a little more, you realize that, okay, raw really is just eating that banana, right? Or just eating the apple, or just taking a handful of seeds or nuts or raisins, right? That's very raw, right? That's the real idea, as opposed to the foods you mix together, which is great. And especially if you got time for all of that, or you got the budget for that, or you're in the beginning stages, right? But I'm way past that, right? I'm not even trying to intentionally be raw. It's just happening. I'm not even trying to intentionally do it. But I think it's more than it's the raw, which is definitely is going to contribute to your high vibrational frequency. It is the eating less, probably in general. So if you ate cooked but you ate less, it's like why the Muslims, at least the Nation of Islam Muslims, why they eat one meal a day, right? Why intermittent fasting, I think, is so popular, right? I think it's popular because it works. I mean, it feels good. I don't know if it's not even a diet. It's just this very non-scientific thing that it doesn't have to be scientific to understand it. The body works better on high quality fuel, not more fuel or not non-quality fuel. You know what I'm saying? The body works better on less. The body is literally healing itself, and it's always in a state of kind of doing that. The body works better on less interference or interruption, which is the constant eating and chewing and digesting, right? So of course you're going to need probably a little less sleep, right? You're going to be more in a high ether on an energetic level, right? I mean, you could understand it. You're it makes you wonder about the body, and it makes you wonder about the purpose of the body. Like, do we really need as much food as we think we do? Do we really need as much anything as we think we do? We talk about I know there's a lot of the growing food prices, and I know people are being heavily affected by it, right? But sometimes you think to yourself, you be like, wait, maybe too we could help ourselves, but maybe this is the universe telling us, y'all eat too much food, whether it's vegan, raw, cooked. You just eat too much, and like, why are you eating so much? What are you eating? What are you eating away? What are you really trying to fill up? Is it really your belly? It's like, I think we yet to understand the body, and I think each person has to go within or listen to their body in a different way, not just listen to what your body's craving or not craving, the idea that our body is still always wanting something, but listen to your body when it says, I really don't want anything, that I'm enough, that this handful of seeds or this handful of raisins or this handful of whatever that is, nuts, this salad that's simple, it's really sufficing. Like, I'm good. Like, and I think that in life it's the same way. Like, we probably don't need as much as we think we do. And a lot of it is the ego. The ego is used to certain things. The ego is used to being fed. And if you have a big ego, which means you are identifying yourself outside of yourself. Thank you, Monet. I saw a lot of things. I didn't see the thing, but and then you're identifying yourself outside of yourself. You're identifying with the external. And the external is deep. The external is almost the illusion, right? The external is the lie, a lot of times. Because we think that we see it, so therefore it is. Forgetting that we look through filtered eyes. Or we look through, I don't know, like our own inner consciousness. That's why we got to always check in with ourselves to make sure that our consciousness is really our consciousness and not our ego. It's like being in a relationship too long, not because it's good, not because you're compatible, not because you even like each other anymore. Most likely it's been over, and then you're saying, but I can't let go. It was so wonderful. I need it. No. The ego makes you forget that. Maybe that relationship made you sad or depressed or hungry, for something more, right? Or sick or dying. On many levels, for everybody. So I'm working on that, like telling myself the truth. Like, girl, you don't need as much food. You don't need as much clothes. Remember, we did that whole little minute, y'all. When I look at my drawers, I really don't have nothing to wear. Like, I look at me like, did I just give away like all my clothes? And I think I did. And I don't think I got much more clothes in the other apartment in the mountains. So it's like, okay, when it comes down to it, because sometimes I feel like, yes, if we identifying clothes as just, not just, but just, let's say for a second, we identifying clothes as just, I need something to cover my body so I won't be naked when I walk out and out the door. If that's it, then okay, that's one thing. But so sometimes we identify clothes with, if I wear this, I'm going to look more beautiful. I'm going to feel more beautiful. People are going to think I'm more beautiful. I'm going to attract. And again, the simplicity of eating, just waking up in the morning and didn't wash my face, you know what I'm saying, and still somehow have a glow. It's interesting, right? Feeling like my blood pressure and everything is regulated, don't have those weird feelings because I'm not eating as much. So maybe it's not true. Maybe the clothes is not what's making me me. This false identification with things as you, or these things. Because what happens is those things are taken away, those things are stripped. But it's the same thing in a relationship, right? I'm identifying this person as me, which is a false identification, right? And if the person goes away, well, I even ask the person to go away, then who am I? But it's the same thing, I'm identifying myself that my body, and you say, because I need another person. I need that food. I need those clothes. You need very much of that food. You need very little of those clothes if you really think about it. And you probably need a whole lot less of this other person, because if that all is gone, who are you? You probably are your true self. Take away the relationship, take away the clothes, take away, I don't mean all the clothes, take away the clothes, take away the food. And who are you? You're your true self. It's just the things, like as an older woman, that I've done or identify as, this is going to make me more beautiful. This is going to make my body this shape. This is going to make, this relationship is going to make me more feel like I'm accepted in society. And we never get to know our true selves. Our true selves be wanting other things, be feeling other things. I'm falsely identifying with something that I don't need or wanted. I didn't want it or need it. And same thing on the other side. Like, it's ego sometimes that making me like, but, I used to have all these clothes and now I don't have the same money, so I can't buy the clothes, so I'm not happy. Wait, those clothes wasn't doing it. And maybe I used to have all this money and I used to go out to restaurants and eat all this food, and now I can't do that. But now you can take the food and buy greens, and you can buy these things and you don't even need a lot of it, and you're going to look better. You're going to feel better. I see why spiritual practices really, I'm talking about some of our deeper spiritual practices, focus on the kind of nothingness, the emptying of the body, the mind, and the spirit. Because why you do it is because there's this true self that is better than anything that you could even imagine, better than anything you could fabricate. So the thing is, be careful of falsely identifying with things that you really, it's not, you don't want, you didn't want. You're fine, you let it go. It was gone. It was, it wasn't, it's something else. And then you waste time because the sun is shining. You forget to look at your life. Like you sometimes we look for gifts all the time. We look for these manifestations, right? These better circumstances, these things that we want. But we sometimes, I know, forget to be like, but wait, which you might already have it. And so I want to give thanks today. I want to give thanks for I live in a beautiful, warm climate. That's every day the sun shines. That I'm not in the struggle mode, of a hierarchy, if you will. I'm not in the struggle mode. That I'm relatively healthy. That I do have more than enough to eat. In my case, like, thankful for the apartment that I have here, the apartment that I have up there, the land and the things that I want to do. Thank you for my mind. Thank you for the friends and the family that support and love me. Oh my God, I got a great life, and I was kind of putting it on hold for about a month. But everything's a catalyst to greatness. So let's see who's here. Let's see if my girl, I am doing well, Excel Josie, JT, Ronay. That's a fact though. You are more than welcome. Yes, thank you. So I just really like this video, but there's things that I do want to do. I gotta get consistent sleep. Like I'm gonna tonight. Tonight. I tell you, Accra. I gotta balance myself when I'm in the city. My voice, because I've been talking a lot, like too much, but I gotta find more balance while I'm in the city. I gotta make sure that it's still somehow, it's, this energy, I think my city energy, or the energy of the city, it's a little not always matching my frequency. It's a little too charged for me. And it's something that I've been really noticing. It's just a little too charged. I definitely need that relaxed kind of state. And it's okay, because you know what? That's why you put yourself in different situations so you can understand yourself more. Although peace is everywhere. You don't need to leave one place to find peace. Peace is within you. And what I will definitely say as well, that peace is within you. So it's not that the city throws me off, but the city, I think it's the lack of trees. Matter of fact, I said that before. Let's go in the other room with the plants. I think I've seen it for me, it's the lack of the nature part of it. Like we really, really need the trees. We need the plants. And then the noise. I think it's the noise too. We don't know how noise sensitive. I remember the first time I ever heard the phrase noise pollution. I was in elementary school. And I was just like, I don't know, I guess, and I was in Brooklyn, New York. And I remember the teacher talked about the different pollution. We learned about pollution. And she said, and noise pollution. I kept thinking, what is that? Because I don't think I had anything to compare the noise pollution of New York to. I never was around. I was born in the city, so I didn't have that understanding of like nature and ultimate quiet and here. Look, you can't hear no birds. Where are the birds? Although I know it's a little later, but still. Because the noise pollution, it has a vibratory frequency, doesn't it? It's funny, that noise is very annoying, It does something to your spirit. Knows that it's not supposed to be like that. Your spirit knows that you're supposed to be in a quiet, serene place. And you're supposed to be in a meditative state, really at all times, no matter what you're doing. You can still do your dishes. You can still do your work. You can still do, you know what I'm saying? But the meditative state is not, contingent on having to, what you're doing. Like I have to sit in one space. And yes, these places help you learn to tap into that meditative state even within the midst of all the noise. But noise pollution that is what it is. Like it's that I don't have the trees, and I know there's not a lot of trees. I would say I wouldn't say across for its trees. And no, the plan. But there's parts. Like I said, I noticed that the more affluent neighborhoods have more trees. They know not to cut them down. And everything else, whether it's affluent or not, the city, like where the buildings and the businesses are, like there's no trees. And I think I always make that observation, don't I, when I come in here? I'm like, the tree factor is a problem. No tree factor. But the noise is quite unhealthy. It's quite jarring when I think about it. And I guess I'm changing, huh? Or maybe what it is I'm not so much changing, I'm understanding. It's like, when I moved from Accra to the Volta region, that was absolutely right. But it was absolutely right for me. It's not for everybody, right? And that's something I got to remember. I think that when Spirit tells you something, always remember this. It's for you. That's why it was brought to you. If other people decide that they can come, then that's okay too. You know the idea, the term that says follow your spirit. So think about this, because this is something to really think about. Because a lot of people are contemplating wanting something different. Like a lot of you are really wanting to move from maybe one country to another. You want to live abroad. But what's stopping you is your parents. You could be 50, 60, even 60. I got a 60-year-old cousin. Her mom is still alive. And the thought of leaving a space, the city, the United States doesn't say that, is she doesn't want to leave her mom. I got a lot of diaspora friends or acquaintances that want to live here, but they have to either even go back and forth because maybe their mom or their dad is ailing. A lot of us at our age, right, my age especially, we have children. Even though our children are grown children, they're still our offspring. They're still our children. So a lot of us will be like, dang, I really want to live abroad, but my children, right? My loved ones, right? So how do you follow your spirit when you have what you believe is all of these people attached to you? Which makes you feel like, and then I notice it's a question to people, how do I follow my spirit, when I have all these other people that feel like that is attached to your spirit? So, right, it makes you wonder, it's like a question, something like a puzzle, like how do I follow my spirit knowing that all these other people that's attached to me will be detached from me in some form, right? And I know I'm about to give you the answer that I believe, but listen, okay. Yes, you should. Because it came to you. And a lot of times you'll say, well, thank you for the love. And you say, well, why would Spirit say that and know that I got my grown children? Well, this is why. When you get called for something, it is to prepare the way. Your intuition, your spirit, your higher self, it knows that those people that's sitting down there, they don't know what you know. Maybe they don't need to know what you know. You just need to know, and when they're ready, not only will they come, but they'll have a place to come because you have made the way. You have set the table. The table's already set. Whenever they want to sit down and eat at the table, they can because you set the table. Thank you for the love. Because I know that's a big thing, and I realize that. And I've seen in my relations, like, Spirit said to me to move from California to North Carolina. And I was with somebody, so I turned around and said, Spirit said that I'm going to have this land, and I'm going to be in North Carolina. And of course, the other person didn't get that message. They didn't get that memo. That memo did not come to them. It came to you. And I think first, our natural first, or I don't know, say our natural inclination, but one of our inclinations when we usually is, well, let's rally the team. Let's go get them on board. Let's get the spouse and the children, our children, I say children, but our grown children. Let's get our mother and father, our elderly mother and father. Let's get them on board. And of course, it's not, they're going to be like, Mama, what? Daughter, what? Sister, what? Like, really? What? Africa? I'm just putting that because that's me. Africa? And then you'll start going, wait a second, Spirit, is this message really from you? Because why would you make me do this? And Spirit is like, it's for your own good. Follow your spirits. So I think in the past, I think what I want to do differently, I think this is the week of reflection for me. Because I was telling you yesterday what I've learned and what I would do differently in yesterday's video. What I would do differently when I get that notion, because now, and I'm going to tell you why. One more inspiration. What I've learned. Let me tell you why I wouldn't say, when the Most High says to me, go. And I'll be like, but I'm with, the person doesn't want to go, and I'm just going to wait for them. And I realized why I wouldn't do that. Because everything is prepared for you. When Spirit tells you it, Spirit knows exactly what's up there, exactly the things that you might be worried about, and Spirit already got that taken care of. The people will come, the right people, the right things. It's true, like I'm telling you this from experience, that had I not brought somebody, it would have still worked out. Sometimes you'd be like, if it wasn't for this person, no, it would have already worked out. And it would have worked out better because you pulled the people to come instead of them coming because they got the calling too. And the thing is, what's so wonderful? You don't just get a calling of the calling. Your children, the reason why they're not coming, or your elderly parents, they have another calling. Spirit came to them too and said, I call you to stay right where you are, or to attend college in this city, or to, be closer to your family, or to, move back to maybe to another part of this United States. Or they have their calling too. So we have to allow you might be impeding on their calling by bringing them onto you, or bringing them with you, or thinking they need to come to you. But what I found, in my opinion, is that you're actually preparing the way. You are preparing the way. And now when I get the calling, because this has happened to me a few times, it's better not to bring a whole bunch of people with you to the party. You know what I'm saying? You should probably go yourself, because the blessings, you're kind of slowing down the process of your blessings. Because I could say for real, that after getting what I needed to get and getting the help from the person that I got when I moved up to the Volta, sometimes the people can go once get in your way, they slow it down because you got the calling. And when Spirit calls you, it doesn't just call you and leave you there. It continues to walk with you, or walk in front of you, and continue to guide you. It continues to guide you. And when I really think about it, when I got up there, oh my God, my mind was on like fire up on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was incredible. It was like this. It was like the first time I came to Accra, and I met the brother Kwame, and I was like, oh, I want to do this. Can I do this? He's like, yes. And I was like, okay. And I wasn't in a relationship with him, so it was this wonderful, like, I could just follow Spirit. And when I got up there, I was on fire too. Do. But sometimes it's not a bad partner. It's just not the right partner, because that partner wasn't really called to go all the distance with you, because they came for their part. And they learn from that. And they can do it for themselves when they're ready, if they want to. I remember always getting more done when I was with myself, especially when I was up there. I was getting more done. Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Let's see, Renee, are you still here? Let me see, Renee, are you still here? Clydell, you're here too. If you are here, and Opulence, you're here as well. Yay. So let's keep watching because some of them is getting through. And Opulence, we talked about this idea of wanting to know, getting a call to leave, but then having that attachment to our children, our grown children, or our parents, or whatever it is. They didn't get that call. You got the call. Trust the call. Trust that if they were to come, if they were supposed to come, that they would have got the call. And they might get the call later, but it doesn't really matter. Thank you. Because sometimes if you bring people that's reluctant to be there, if you force them or have to convince them, this one I can guarantee you, and thank you for the love, I can guarantee you this, they will slow down your process. Yes, your loved ones, yes. Your children, yes. Your parents, they will slow you. Ooh, as I could tell y'all, I am speaking from experience. Every time I would be there, I mean, I almost built, I rented an apartment, but it's not the same apartment that I walked into. It's not the same apartment that I walked into. Like, I was on, but all I kept hearing the resistance from the person that didn't feel like they were called, I guess. You want to do that? When you want to do that? Let's wait to do that. I don't want to do that with that person. I can't really see a vision. I'm just energetically slowing it down. And then the person would leave and it'd be like, whoa, gazebo, sinkers, tile, and floor, and it was like, I'll come back and be like, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna go play this thing too. You don't want it. You got the call. You have to pick up the phone when it's ringing, and you got to answer it, and you got to say yes, and then you got to hang up the phone and get a packing. Get to packing. Lesson learned more than once. Don't get me wrong. One would say, well, in North Carolina, when you did get to North Carolina, they'll say, yeah, but it was a bit of a struggle. And there was a lot of slowing down because let me tell you where I was and where I don't want you to be, and maybe I can help you. I don't think I trusted enough in my own ability after I got the call to do it myself. I was stuck in, I don't know, we're deep. Let's get deep. I was stuck in, and this is in the States too. Well, I need a man to help me. And you will get those that will come to help you. This is what the Spirit is saying to you. If you think that I can't do this all by myself. I got the call, now you do the work. But Spirit, when it gave you the message, it gave you everything to go with it. Do you get it? When Spirit told you what to do, it's going to give you everything to do it. This is what I didn't really realize. This is what I didn't really understand that. Making sure the fans on. I didn't really understand that. I see that now. Like, I didn't know that North Carolina thing, it would have worked. Now let me just explain what I'm saying. Yes, those things seem like it made it easier, but somebody else would have came to make it easier. You wouldn't have had to carry them along. I got the call. When I got the call, I was on YouTube. I was about to North Carolina. I had a person that was in my Wild Women Who Run with the Womb course, and actually had gotten out the course because she wanted some more, really showing that more interaction from me, and that wasn't where the course was designed to be. But so she left. But when I got on here, which was YouTube, and I said, hey, Spirit told me that I should get 10 acres of land in North Carolina. Yes, I know. I've never been in North Carolina. I don't know what 10 acres look like, but that's what they told me. And the woman calls and said, I got 10 acres of land. This is the sister that I wind up meeting, the landowner the land that she owned, and the place that she rented that he owned these lofts. He owned this whole town called Saxapaha, actually, Mr. Jordan. That's how I got the land. Through my contact, Everything from the apartment that we lived in to the land that we owned, it was all Miss Juwar. And yes, the partner did the logistics. He found out the company that will take your car from West Coast to East Coast. But I probably would have done that, or if somebody would have found out, I would have made the same call. Think about the price you pay when you're pulling people along that don't want to go. You're paying the price. Because for some reason you're thinking that they're doing something or contributing something that really they're not. But your fear or your disbelief or something that we got to fix inside is kind of holding you back. He figured out how to, no, it's not a figure out, it's a cause. And you go on the internet, but it was how to get, okay, the car and then the furniture, right? But that's so easy in the States, right? It's the same thing. It wasn't nothing different. It was a truck, right? And you call them and then they come get your stuff, right? And then they drive it to the East Coast. Oh, yeah, because I was going from the West Coast to the East Coast. But I really felt like the papers was just, it's so deep when I just think about it now. And you know what? Let me say this too. If I didn't bring somebody along, I would have still owned that land in North Carolina. You know, because I was the one doing it all. I was the one. I was the one. The other person actually was more of an expense that I could have been actually putting into this other thing. It's deep. It's just deep when I really think about it. Oh my God, like I would have still had that land because the motivation of me buying it would have kept me paying for it. You know, in the States, because in Ghana, you buy the land, so it's done. You bought it. You know, in the States, you got to kind of, I guess, is that like I call it like mortgaging. It's this $100,000, let's just say, and you pay every month until you pay that loan off, right? That's what I was on. I would have paid it off. I realized that I would have paid double and triple. Oh my God, when you don't heed the calling, you're going to miss out because you're waiting for these other people to come, and energetically they didn't really want to come. So energetically, there's a pull instead of a forward push. Not on purpose, not because they're not good people, because it's like the water was flowing through the pipes and you took a rock and left a little bit of space, and now the water still flows, but not as quickly because it's obstructed by the goddamn rock that you put in the pipe. You put the rock in the pipe to slow down the flow. Why would you do that? But you didn't know. You was thinking, I need these people to be. No, I would have still had that land. Because I know me and I know my motivation. I mean, oh my God, when I think about it, like, the same thing here was, no, the opportunity was beautiful. People that come, I needed that help. I needed so much of that. And I'm so grateful, for it. But that could have been the exchange there, We have to be very careful that we don't let our fears put us in harder situations than normal or natural. It's your calling. It was given to you. So if somebody else don't want to be on it, there's nothing wrong with that. They should not. They have their calling. And I even realized that. It's not fear even to the other person that you're forcing your children or you're guilting your children. I'm not saying anybody here is doing that. Or you're even wishing too hard that they'll come. Worse that, you won't come, you won't go because they can't come. That's the worst part of the whole thing. It's almost like a deeper reality that, our children are not our children, even our parents, that we are not their children in that way too. We are on loan in a sense. We come through them, right? But we are our own people. They are their own people. Like, we're supposed to go, and everybody has their own mind, their own spirit guides, right? Their own calling. And it's not that you don't love them. Oh my God, you love them. You got this fantasy in your head of them all, and you're all together. You're on the land, and you're living in this new country together. And it's not. Why are you interjecting things in it that is not what it was supposed to be? I would have I'm not saying this, if it wasn't that person, even up in the Volta, it would have been somewhere else because the calling was already put out there, right? If the Spirit called you and said, this is it, as it was when I got there, I was like, oh my God, I was with the young lady, remember? And I got up there and I was like, oh, I'm going to live here. I mean, it was the most, it was like that trance state that I was in when I first came in Ghana and I said, oh, I'm staying, I'm not going back. That's what it was when I went to the Volta. It was specifically Willie. And I told you that story that I must have said a lot when I came on that trip with the young lady because when she got back to the States and she was there for like some months, and she said, Auntie, did you ever get to the Volta? Did you ever buy land there? Are you living there? And I was like, oh my God, yes. Yes and yes. And I was like, oh, she said, you said it. I couldn't even remember. She said, Auntie, you said it. You said, I'm going to live here. First time I was ever with her up there. You said, I'm going to live here. I'm going to buy, it's going to be in Wool, I'm going to buy a place in Woolly. You said it, Auntie. You said it. I said, I know. I don't remember saying it, but I remember wanting it. I remember that I did say it, but I didn't remember. But it was amazing. I'm so thankful for everyone in my life and everyone that helped me to get to that thing. But I think now I got to separate the calling from what I think it should be. Because then you unnecessarily not disrupt other people's lives, but maybe interrupt other people's lives. Because they have a calling too. And I really realized that. But I was afraid. I was like, oh my God, I have to roll by myself and like, well, how am I going to do this? And of course, I mean, I wasn't in a relationship, so I thought that that's what you were supposed to do. I think I learned just today that all of our relationships are really amazing and beautiful, but they all seem in some ways in the version that we think they should be, they're all really temporary, aren't they? Your son or daughter is not going to be a toddler forever. They're going to be a grown adult. Your mother and father is not going to be here forever. They're going to go up to the ancestors, with the ancestors. Like, every relationships are temporary, y'all. Every last one, even if they last 50 years, it's still temporary because it's not permanent. And I think we should learn that lesson a lot faster. So we're not impeding on other people's progress because we want what we want. It's not what we want. We were told to. We have to trust. Again, if the Most High gives you the message and gives you the directive, then everything to make that happen will be provided for. It comes from the same place. So y'all, don't let that stop you, because a lot of people, like I said, I was talking to the sister, and a lot of people, that's their fears. Like, but my parents or my children or I promise it's your calling and you gotta go. Let me see. Good morning, ain't God good? How you doing this morning? That's right, but thank you, Excel. Keller, hello. Grand Rising Opulence. Would you consider using foam earplugs to block out the noise? I use them here in the UK. I would definitely gotta do that. I definitely gotta do that. Because it's jarring, huh? Oh, thank you for that. Yes. Hey, folks. How are you? You're like, yes, Simone, thank you. Love her song, Black is the Color. Yes. Yes, the right persons are our true family. Yes. Hey, Clydell, greetings. Thank you. I'm real sleepy, y'all. So we should let people behind us. That we should let people behind us. I think that, or should we leave people behind? I don't think we're leaving them behind. I think we're leaving them in their perfect place. I think, I don't want to say it's less about the other people because these other people are your people. Some of these other people came through you, right? I think it's that they have their own calling too, and you're impeding on their calling by saying, you gotta come. And worse, you don't come. You don't go because they can't go. It's they didn't get that calling, but they do gonna get a calling. It's not, the thing is, your other one is you're literally, the calling might be for you to prepare the way and make the room for the people, because people change their mind. I wouldn't not do something based on my daughter who is 28 years younger than me. I'm not going to say I'm not going to take in mind what she wants. I'm going to take in mind what she don't want, knowing that I'm the older one, so I'm going to have to prepare because I know she doesn't see what I see because I'm almost 30 years ahead of her. But sometimes even your sister, who might be older than you, your brother, they don't necessarily see, but you could very well be preparing the way for them when they see. So it's so important that you follow, right? Uh, I love you. I love Starseed. Starseed, you got right to the point. Starseed said they sabotage it without knowing. Without knowing. I think it's true. So we should let people be. Okay, that's what he said. I'm sorry, Starseed. I'm just saying you completely remodeled the country apart. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Thank you, Lord, for every little thing. That's right. I'm just, when we get the call and take the first steps on the path, the assistance we need comes in always. I mean, and I said that, enough funny, I said that, but I'm thinking always. Why would the Most High give you the call and don't give you the assistance to go with it? It really doesn't make sense. Because if you, sorry, the Wi-Fi be going off, so somebody called, that's why. But I think that, yeah, it's about the calling. Let me see. Yes, the assistance, definitely. Hey, Nandi, Hatepu. Indeed, we need to trust ourselves. Yes. 444. Yes, Beauty Aquarius. How are you? We do love our parents. The soul chose the womb. It's just hurtful when you realize you may think very differently than your parents who raised you. It is. I guess it could be hurtful, right? But don't let it be. It's hurtful because it's this kind of false idea that we all supposed to be on the same page. Do you understand? That's where the pain comes from. I mean, when I realized even in my own relationship when I've experienced pain, it's not based on the truth, the universal truth, the spiritual truth. It's based on an ego truth. It's based on the fairy tale. The idea is that no, I mean isn't that the poem by Khalil Gibran? Khalil Gibran, of the book called The Prophet. Because I know that song, your children are not your children. I know that song is based on that poem by Khalil Gibran. I said Khalil Gibran. I'm sorry because I'm so tired. I know that. And I know that song was sung by a group I remember called Sweet Honey on the Rock. But when we read that poem, and you'll write it down, Khalil, I believe, Gibran. And the book is called The Prophet. Your children are not, and so therefore we're not our parents' children in that way. Yes, we came through them, but we are our own people. We came to become our own. So I think it becomes hurtful when we attach ourselves to this false narrative, this fantasy. You really do birth your children, and your mom, your dad births you in order for you to go out and forge new roads. So it's not, take it, change it up. Because I think I can talk about this because I'm not with my child that I haven't seen her for 5 years. And I know some people wonder how I do that. It's not that I know something that I could, 5 years later, and after this, I know we were talking about this. 5 years later, I might be the one that was on something. I mean, I might be the one that was onto something. In a way, they'll probably come. And the ones that don't, that was okay. That was their calling. But you're missing out on the joy. You're missing out on this idea. Let me tell you about following your intuition, the calling too. You know how I know it's a calling? I'm going to give you this one. The excitement, joy, and energy you have for it. The only thing that stops that joy and energy and excitement is if you brought some other people that have no joy about this, no energy or no excitement. Just watch me when I was doing my own thing. Things were getting done. Because you receive this calling that never stops. It doesn't say, like I said, it don't trick you. It ain't trying to trick you like, I'm going to make you go over there and I'm going to say bye. I'm going to say bye. I'm going to leave you on that barren land and I'm going to say bye. No, Spirit is like, girl, now let me tell you, now you good? You by yourself now? Okay, let me tell you, because you ain't going to be by yourself alone. Now you go up in here and you go talk to that person, and they're gonna be the good, right person. They're gonna get you that apartment. You're gonna go with the right landlord. Everything's gonna work out perfectly. Everything's gonna work out perfectly. Another thing too, I think that sometimes when Spirit wants you to walk this journey alone, okay, because I can see it now, it is because there's more for Spirit to give you. Spirit wants you to sit down because it says, look, I got more. Spirit will never give you the whole plan to the end. It's like, just die then. There's no fun in life. It's the journey, not the destination. Spirit never's going to do that, ever, ever, ever. Spirit is like, look, because you can't handle the whole thing. I can't, if I give you the whole thing, there's nothing to look forward to, first of all, and you can't handle it. When I think about it now, if I had gone and just said, okay, I can do this, Spirit has got me. You know how I realized another thing, like, when you do, I know that thing that people say when you get a calling from the Most High, maybe you shouldn't tell everybody. Because I got the calling to go to this place. It was Volta region. And at that point, I knew I wanted to buy in Woolly, which I did, and then live in Hawaii. But I was trying to convince the other person to come, and it wasn't his point. He was right, he had something going. That's why I now wish I didn't do that even to him, because he had something going. And I think about it now, especially after we got the thing that we got. I wish that because I can see how what happened was, though before I even went up there, why I didn't go by myself, I must have some fear inside of me. I want you to understand, when you are too apprehensive, there's a little fear. Because you can only attract something from outside if it's inside. And so I really was going to go. And I was going to go at that point without the man because, I mean, he has something going. Like, I'm going to keep saying that. And I know that there feels regret, and I really apologize for that, you know. But I still was going. I was going. I wasn't forcing anybody. I knew better to not do that, and I didn't. I was going. I had it all planned. I was like, well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I'm going to get a moving truck because I knew the person even could help me with the moving truck. But I must have been scared, so I go to this little Saturday like market. You can get food and other stuff. It's called Green Butterfly. And I was sitting with some people, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go up to this place, and this is going to be, I'm going to move up there. You going by yourself, girl? You sure about that? They'll start getting you scared. You sure about that? By yourself? Up there? Well, you know the people, and not to say that these things are not true. Don't get me wrong now. Everything they say is a good thing to be cautious of as a woman or, you know, a foreigner and all these things. But it chipped a little away at me. And then I met a sister that's right there. Now we sitting there, we talk about the kind of like being careful, which is good. And then the sister comes and tells his story. Well, she was up there, she was by herself, and the people would try to take advantage, and she felt like she feared for her life because she was a foreigner with her child, and I know it was all true. But it just scared me. And I was like, oh, that's a sign. That's a sign that I should not go like this. So then I went back and said to my man at the time, I said, are we going or not? Like, because I'm going anyway. But at the same time, the calling never stops knocking on the door. It starts to pound on the door. Because even though I was afraid, I remember I'm in the Tete Go. And somehow they opened up the dam, and I'm talking about this whole community was literally flooded. Where you see people walking in the streets with, this is in Accra, Great Accra, with water up to here. And I was one of those people. I had no lights. We were in complete darkness for 3 days. We couldn't go get food, nothing. The water was up to here. It was a nightmare. And but I was already packing. I was telling the brother to get the truck for me. But I was scared. I was scared. And after that, he came and got me, and we wanted to go into the village. And I knew then the village that was still in the Volta region. And I knew that, oh my God, I'm going to come back and leave. That was my sign. And I think I blessed his heart. He came with me because he was like, I'm not going to, he cared, right? You love somebody, you're like, oh, I'm not going to make them go up there by themselves. And don't get me wrong, your children, your family will enjoy it. They will love it. They will see it. They will but they got their own path. That's all it is. It's a different path. They got their own path. You will meet up one day, but they got their own path. I was at a point in my life because it was my calling, and you got to look at that. That's why we got the age differences. Your children cannot see sitting on some farmland away from the city. You can understand that, right? But they will in 10 years. They will in 20 years. They will if Babylon falls. You got to read the room. I could have read the room a little better. I could have read the room a little better. So I was so thankful, but it's like if you either force the people to come, because you got to be careful. You don't want to guilt them, and you don't want to scare them, so that because we can scare somebody into coming with us too. You know, it's over here, and it's gonna fall, and you got to come. Don't do none of that, because you will feel that when you visited before, when you opened up the doors of your home and you smelled the fresh air, it did something for you. But now you come in, you got the person that don't know why they're there because they can't make the money they used to. This is real stuff for them. So that opening that door and smelling the fresh air, and them in the back, they be like, well, what we gonna do today? It's so boring. Why am I here? I don't like it. That same feeling that you got that made you leave, you will lose it. Because even though you love these people, you're attached to these people and they're attached to you, that calling being different will impede, I'm telling you, it will slow it down. Because so what you think you're doing is actually you're going against the calling, because you're going against the part that you're supposed to trust. That the spirit that got you where you are, got you to the new place, will never leave you. And in the end, everything happens for a reason. And it wasn't supposed to. Sometimes you get braver or you get courage based on things that you did. Maybe you have to do it a few times. Because now this is a couple of times, right? So maybe more than a couple of times. I mean, I remember when I first moved to Vegas, I had the whole project tell me, what you going out there for? And then it came back a year later and I moved to California, and they really was like, you know they're weird out there. How do y'all know? Did y'all go? No. How you know that? You have to. But I wound up staying and having a child and staying for 20-something years, right? Like, and it really worked out for me. The person you're seeing today, that California, is a big part of me. But I went, and let me tell you, you might even you get the call, somebody else say, oh, I got the call too. It could be your good friend. Y'all will start off together. Y'all will think, oh, we're gonna come out to this place together, and we're gonna be partners and friends forever. And you'll go your separate ways. If you go because you feel like I'm going to go only when I can get somebody to go with me, you won't probably go. And if you do find somebody to go with you, they may not stay, or they may not stay with you. Leave all of that behind when you get the call. Just say, I'm coming, and come. And come. Yes, but I understand. The world is our home, and it's important that our family members have another place in the world to be when they truly need it. Yes, and they probably will need it. But knowing that, do that, know that, and then keep going. You're not doing something wrong. You're actually doing something right. And that's, I think, what happens is we get that I'm doing something wrong. The wrong thing, I think, to do is force people to come or guilt people to come when they're not ready. It will slow down your progress. I promise it will. If you listen to spirit, you wouldn't even be alone for that long. You would get all the right people. Everything would work out. Everything would work out. Hey, relationships are they're temporary, and it's deep. I love your Aries. You look so nice. What time is it there now? It's 10:06 in the morning. Of course. Oh my God, like I think about it now. I could think about it now that with my ex-husband, I remember all these turning events happened. Actually, he's still there, so I love it. He is still living in the place where we moved to, which I think is great. Now he loved it. He got it. He loved it. Once he got there, I'm gonna be honest with him because I guess maybe he was older. We had the same worldview. We had the same worldview. We were very compatible in a lot of ways. We were very like-minded in a lot of ways. So I won't hesitate with him so much. He helped tremendously. He was always a worker. When he got laid off, and because he was doing his thing, my ex-husband made good money. He made $95,000 a year because he was an engineer, worked in the Silicon Valley, and Vibe, and he was also. We were enrolled in this NACA program because he really wanted to buy real estate in Cali and then rent it out. That was a plan. But the universe had another plan. We were being called to go to North Carolina. And we had already put the money down to purchase the land. We had already then gave the money to purchase the land. And we came back thinking, I knew it wasn't going to be later. I knew it was going to be now. I knew that. And he was like, oh, okay, we'll do this NACA thing. And then we'll wait a few years. It's like a few years. I was getting nervous. I was like, oh, hell no. He don't understand. This ain't a few years coming. Everything with me is now. So if you hang out with me, if you ain't a now person, it probably wouldn't work out for us. But and I was like, oh my God, what is he doing in my mind? And then I said, babe, I think we should go. But he did have a job. So, I mean, $95,000 is a nice amount of money. And it's a good point, right? So, and I was making good money as well. I was doing mine online, doing this work. And and he really wanted this NACA thing with this real estate. Spirit was so amazing. Let me tell you about how Spirit is. Spirit was so amazing that Spirit said, he goes to work and they lay him off. Just because there's so many employees, he's a great employee. He's very, very smart. Then he says, well, I still got this NACA thing. He put included us. He was really doing all the stuff. We still got this NACA thing. I do. I'm going to go with the NACA thing. He goes to NACA for his whatever weekly meeting. And they say, okay, so you still making this amount of money? You still have this job? And he said, oh, no, I got laid off. They said, oh, no, you can't be part of the program now if you don't have an income. And he still was like, well, maybe I'll find another job. So now you don't have a job. The NACA thing is out, right? And he said, well, I'll just find another job because I really want this real estate thing. He was going against all the signs. And then he mistakenly had a candle that he put in the bathroom window. He didn't put it in the bathroom. He put it on somewhere. But the window was open in the bathroom. The curtain was blown. The couch is on fire from the candle. And my daughter's upstairs in the loft sleeping. She was home from college break. And the house damn near burnt down. We're talking about a fire under our ass. Literally, the bathroom was underneath the loft. And we running out with our bare feet, barely clothes on. And he out there jogging, because he was a jogger in the morning. And I swear to the Most High, because I kept saying, hey, look at the signs. You don't have to jog. You can't do the NACA. And I was working, so I said, I got us. Like, let's go. And honey, when that fire happened, he came back. Immediately, he started taking the stuff off the wall. He called the card people to go. He did everything. We was out within a few weeks after that. And he didn't regret it. He loved it. It was the best thing to happen. Like, I think that one's a little bit different. I always say, like, I could have worked that one out, but I didn't do that, so that's not a story. But I think this one was, he was starting his business. He was doing his tie and dyeing. He was doing, and I always believe, let me say something. I've always been that person that thinks of the bigger picture. And this may be you. This may be you. You have to sit with yourself and think about who you are. So we're those. I don't know. I just always think more. I remember the brother was doing his tie and dyeing thing. He was really learning. I wish I left him there because I think that would have been so great for him. But they were messing with him. They was threatening. He had a big space that where he was living gave him, and then people were getting jealous of what he was doing. So then they split the place in half. Then they split the place that was in half. They was just squeezing him out. And I was like, forget that. We got all this land. We can just build you a shop. Let's go. And that's what happened. But that part never happened. Never happened. It never happened because I unfairly tried to carry him to my dream when he had a dream. And it was working. He would have worked it out. So you don't, let's go on that side. You don't want to carry people. Sometimes you're impeding on their dream. It's almost like a little bit of selfishness. It was like, it goes both ways. Don't take them off their track because you're afraid to really heed the calling. And that's a cautionary tale. If I had to do it again, I would have left. He could have took me there and then he should have went back. And that would have been it. But he started to enjoy it too. It's very, very beautiful and very relaxing. But that's the thing that he loved. So I learned that. Like I didn't realize that was what was going to become of this live stream. That what I learned was not only do they slow you down, you're slowing them down too, because it's not their calling, it's your calling. You know, to have you, it's one thing to have the land. Now you both have to be able to contribute to it. And it was really my dream. And I wish I could go back and do that part differently. You know, in all honesty, I wish I could be like, you know what, I'm gonna go, and you just come check on me, make sure I'm okay. And the more we got because of the brother helping, and well, I wanted it, and then we wanted it, right? So the moral of the story is follow your own dreams, follow your own calling. It's not for everybody. Because not only can they'll have the energy where they might hold you back, you could possibly be holding them back, and that wouldn't be good. I see that now. Yes, temporary, yes, so true. Both mine made the transition. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but you are the one that now that they've been waiting for, and you are still that one. Clydell says, I'm learning that lesson. Yes. I love you. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's right. I missed some before. Is there anything inside your earrings? There is not. I don't know. There is not anything in my earrings. Looks like there are treasures in there. I know. It's my other ear. It's a vortex of frequency. Hello from Morocco. Like, share, and subscribe. Khalil Gibran. Thank you, Opulence. We are the children of the Most High. Yes. Mocha, Moselle, African Americans in Jamaica did a video today about the calling. I think the energy of this message is in the ear right now. Wow. Erwin says, Goddess, hello. Brother M got you where you needed to be. We give thanks for that. Absolutely. T.T. blessings to you all. Love you all. Yes. I believe you had to be a part of the 90s California Energy Vibration. Definitely. Yes, it was. It really, that's when I became a vegan before. To thy own self be true. Right, exactly. Is it interesting that trolls are male? What is this about? Oh, what is that about? I know, that is true. It's very interesting too. Don't do it, y'all. But like, I think that the part that I didn't expect was that sometimes I'll say, oh, you bring people and then they'll slow it down. No, but you could slow them down. It's just some clarity that I just got. You know, I remember that sometimes why I see that other anger and animosity, it's almost like I gave up my thing to be with you because we were going to do this thing together. And the shop wasn't very realistic, though, to have up there because you still need the city to sell it. Or I guess I could have sold it online. Let me say this. I think another thing, this goes back to the calling being you, because I'm going to say something about why. When the Most High gives you the calling, again, let's go back, key points. When the Most High sends you the calling, it sends you everything you will need to make that happen. If you bring somebody else to the calling, now they're a part of it, so there's energy that you have to put into it that actually takes away from the original calling. So I was thinking about this because I remember the partner didn't have a website, and at that point couldn't get it because websites are usually connected to a bank account. So I did try my very best, and I don't think it was for me to do that. I was like, okay, well, you can be on my website, and don't worry, I'm gonna help you sell your stuff. But in order to do that, because what he wanted it was huge. It was a whole thing that I had to build myself for my own self Now I got to build this for this person. And what started to happen was I started to do me less. I didn't even remember me. I was like, okay, yeah, oh yeah, I know I said that. Okay, get it all together. And then I remember saying, okay, well, at least line up the mannequins and take the clothes on and off, okay? Do the. And he was like, I don't feel like doing that. I was like, oh no, are you serious? I'll do it later. No, then I wind up doing it. Okay, give it all to me. Okay, get it all done. Okay, let me take the thing. Okay, let me line it up. Okay, let me do the editing. I saw where it went because now that's why you listen to your calling, because if you bring somebody else on, now you feel like you're responsible. I done took them away from this thing. Now I got to make sure everything is so. I was lost. I got lost because his stuff. He's magnificent, so magnificent, but that was supposed to be what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to do that for himself. That's why I do say that, like, we do have to have um, like-mindedness, but like, okay, like-mindedness, because me and the ex-husband, when I said we were on the same page, we was on the same page. We were on the same page. He didn't need he didn't need my sight. He didn't need nothing from me to make what he was doing happen. He didn't need nothing. He had his own website. He had one before me. He been doing this for a while. He didn't need me to do. He had his own, and he was able to focus on that at the same time. Help push me because of those skills he had. He had the photography. He had the video editing. He had all these creative ideas. Right? He was an artist. He was established. He knew how to connect to people. It was a whole nother level. So will have to say that anybody you partner with, let's go to the next level, right? Anybody you partner with, they should be able to bring as much to the partnership as you do. There should be a like-mindedness in the trajectory. If you are going to partner with people, whether it's your relatives, your partner, yes, it's got to be you're going in the same direction. Thank you for the love, because it just hit me right now where it all went wrong, right? Is that if they don't have you're not even everywhere you want to be. You just getting where you want to be, and you stopping that. I mean, Afrocentric home design was really Afrocentric home design at one point. And then it became all these things, and it was so sporadic that it just lost something. I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't really. I think we need to be. I think I'm talking about partnership. Let's say you say I want to partner with my homegirl. I want to partner with my cousin. I want to partner me and my sister, me and my brother, me and my mom, whatever. We're going to partner. It might not be a good partnership if one person has to let go of what they're doing to support the other person. So make sure too, when you are doing your collaborations, that the other person has something established for themselves, so you are both feeding each other, or feeding the work that you said that you want to do together, the business, so to speak. It was too much. I realized that now I couldn't do it. Wait, but you're not even gonna help. You don't even want to take the pictures. You got an attitude. You don't. You're gonna have your hand in there ready. Oh my God! Like, you got to do that part, and then I'll do the rest, and then I'll advertise, and then I'll do. I got lost. When I was in my marriage, I was focused on what I had to do, and at that point, it was more important to focus on my thing, because remember when I said when we moved, he got laid off from the job, but I told him to come on anyway because he was contributing to me. It made more sense to contribute to what was already established than to what was not. What was I doing? I was already established. We should have been pouring into this to make all of it come together. I think too, like, you got to evaluate where you are. So let's say you're thinking about really moving. You really are ready to make this switch from wherever, I'm going to say the U.S. or the U.K., wherever, to your new promised land, right? It's very careful about, again, who comes on the team. I think about the sister, my sister up north in the northern Ghana, and how when she first met the first person, I understood, she thought the person was down with her, right? She thought that they were going in the same direction, and they really were not going in the same direction. And now she has somebody that's more understands the direction. Be smart too once you do get here. Don't partner with people, not nothing wrong with them, that can't see or division. This is another thing that I did. I kept complaining that these people around me can't see the vision, right? But instead of complaining, I should have, again, that's that fear factor that I can't do it by myself, who I don't know. I was doing it by myself. So I had this fear factor, so I could have been had the 3 apartments. I've done that already. I could have been had it even where I am now. I could have had the 3 apartments. They literally were available. I spoke it into existence. I said, oh, if the people next door leave, couldn't see that she had this a young lady. She had 2 kids. I couldn't even see her. I said, oh my God, if she leaves, I can have that apartment. Then I said, whoa, if the other people leave, this is Volta, because I already had done it in cry. If the other people leave, I can have that one. Both of them left. And the landlord said, do you want both? And I said, yes. And homeboy said, why? Why are you taking care of somebody else's place? And so you have to have the person, if you do collaborate with the like-mindedness. It's very, very important. It's not saying anything bad about them. You're not on their level either. What they want to do, you can't do that either. You can't go over there. You can't do that. You going this direction. That's why you have to trust Spirit. That Spirit will bring the right people that's going in that direction. No levels, just going in that direction. It's just funny, like, I remember that. Oh my God, what is she doing? I mean, I was being questioned by people that would not know that. Like, you listen, you got the calling now, okay? I feel like this 2025, 26, all the next 10 years, or no, beyond. It's about collaboration. It's about partnering up. This is how you're going to make it out here, wherever here is for you. Whether it's Mozambique, right? Whether it's Ghana, whether it's Tanzania, whether it's Portugal, if that's where you're going. You're going to have to collaborate, but you've got to collect. It's very important to choose, and if you got a partner, and especially a lover partner, choose correctly, because you might be having. I really remember, like, it was like, oh no way, I can't wait, I'm lost. I got lost. I was doing my own head wraps, right? I was doing my own jewelry. I was doing my own bags. I was doing my own shoes. I was doing my own furniture. I was doing my own curtains and sheets and napkins and pillowcases and mudcloth colors and oh my God, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Like, I think about it now, and then it was like, oh wait, what you want to do? Okay, wait, let me go over here. But that was the price I paid for being afraid. The price you pay for being afraid. Do you see what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because you got scared, me. And so I said, oh, come along. And it slowed me down because I didn't have an equal partnership wasn't there. Sometimes the things that you think a whole person needs to be in order for you to have, you could have just paid somebody to do the same thing that the person did, and you wouldn't have to come with all the, I gotta sleep with them, I gotta make sure they're okay, I gotta take care of them, I promise you to do it again. You have everything that you need, and it will definitely, for the love, it will be provided. That was like that. I mean, I probably would have had partners in a cry. I would have had partners. I'm okay at a cry. I mean, it's fun, but cry's kind of a little rough. You know what I'm saying? But I can do it now. Like, as you see, it's already happening. And I guarantee you that I'll get the one next to me, and if the one down there, if the landlord don't take it, which he's going to take, which is fine, that'll be fine. 3 places, that'll be good. 1 for me, 2 for rentals. A lot of times you move faster or better with yourself. And I will say the same for my partner, my ex-partner. I think he would have progressed as well. Sometimes you think you're doing somebody a favor, like your children. Oh, I'm doing them a favor. I'm doing my mom and them a favor. Can't they see that this is better for them? What's good for you might not be good for them. That's the other point I'm making of why you should not go because they can't go. It's not about just you, it's about them. That place they are is a good place. That's where they can be. And they're doing well at that place. And they're going to come up. So I take half the blame because I didn't allow for him to be where he was to do his struggle. Because I thought he was doing it. It was going to be something. I mean, yes, I did come in to say, one thing that you got to do, especially when you're selling here, the people don't really sometimes because they don't know the value of like real art, right? And so I remember when I met him, his stuff is fantastic, phenomenal. To this day, I've seen nothing like it. But to get quick money, you got to calculate when you buy when you buy your inks and your clothing, your time. Here, everything's a trip. Do you know if you're paying more for something? Let me tell you what you're paying for. It's the infrastructure is absolutely not up to par. If you go to a place in the States and you say, oh, I want to buy this fabric, and they'll say, oh, we ran out of the fabric, but we'll have it in 2 weeks. Most likely they'll have it in 2 weeks. Here you go in 2 weeks, they go 2 more weeks. Then you come back in 2 more weeks, they say 2 more weeks. So finally you say, oh, you're ever going to get it? And they say, I don't know, you should probably look for something else. It's that part, or it's so far, or you got to go through all this thing to get it, or they just don't have it. So it's a whole nother kind of way, it's just a whole nother, more things that's involved in getting it. But two, you have to still calculate those things, right? If you put in 150, let's say, to make this thing, but then you charging 50 CDs once you sell it, you didn't make a profit, you lost. But the hand to mouth mentality is, I had the 150 that day to get everything. So if on Tuesday, so if on Friday I make 50, I still made money because on Friday I needed the 50. So there was this things I really had to teach, like, you got to sit down and see, am I making a profit? Am I charging adequately? Because the people here don't want to pay for the thing, they want it less, which is everywhere you go. So it was a lot of things that I think it took away from me because I was like, hey, but I should have knew he was going to figure it out. So I always was there like, no, you gotta make sure you counting and you making sure you're making a profit or you're not losing, because right now you're losing. You got to break it down. How many yards? Okay, how much does everything cost? It was a constant trying to say, like, you want it to be a business. Let me show you how to get to the business part of this. And I remember he's going very frustrated with me. He just wanted to make the stuff and sell the stuff. I was like, wait, that's not how it works. If you want a business. Now, if you just want to do this for fun, but you don't have to do it for fun. Because I invested in the whole thing too. I invested and I the start of it. And then he took it and reinvested. It was great. What I'm saying is, you're on somebody else's calling. The right person would have came to him too. And as much as it is, I wasn't the right person because my focus should have been on what I needed to do. So let's make sure we're both not impeding on each other. It's not just one way. So you see the importance of following your own calling, because if you don't follow your own calling, then you're following somebody else's. It's not going to work on either side. So you really don't want the other person if they're not ready to come, because what they're getting ready for is something different than what you're ready for. So it goes 2 ways. It's not, oh, don't bring these slow people on your board because they're going to impede your progress. No, you're going to impede theirs too, because where they are is a good place for them. That's where they can be. This is what they need to start here. They'll fall and tumble and they'll learn how to get back up because you're not there. I'm going to say let's talk about two creative people. I'm talking about any form of partnership. It doesn't have to be romantic. There's another thing about, sometimes you think, oh my God, I'm creative, and even in a partnership, and I'm talking about spouse, and I want my creative spouse. Your creativities might be two different levels. You're still going, I can see, you see how actors, you think, oh, well, they're actors, and she's an actor, and he's an actor, but they fail all the time. they're two different people and they want to explore in two different ways, and they might want to not be an actor and be a producer, and so it's all these things. I feel like we just have to follow our own calling, and the right people, where it will be perfect for y'all because you're following your own calling. The moment you get off your calling and send somebody else, or worse, or better, worse, the moment they get off their, that's your son's calling to be over there. That's your daughter's calling to be over there. And then you get them off their calling, you're gonna have some two unhappy people on top of everything else. I feel like as we grow into our spirituality, this is what it's seeming like to me. Again, that you're not supposed to take your road. It's a lonely road, Lord son. But it's not a lonely road. This is the thing. But it feels like that. It's a journey of one sometimes. But everything and everybody will be provided on it. I think this comes to this bigger picture too. This idea of where does being an entrepreneur, being a so-called go-getter, following spirit, how does that work when it comes to partnership, right? Or relationship? I think y'all both have to be going in the same direction and being able to equally provide for this one direction. I felt like what he wanted was over there and what I wanted was over here. By the time that when I got up into the mountains, all I wanted to do was everything around mountains. How can this now be the next thing? How can this now be the guest house? I wanted to get into the real estate more, because that's what it really was up. I wasn't into the other stuff. The other stuff could fuel this, but this is, so in a sense, we were not on the same page. He didn't, I know they never talk about that part, but I realized it. I was like, okay. Or when we got on the same page, then I couldn't do it all. I needed a partner now that could bring in the capital, so that now it's really equal. You get what I'm saying? So once you get on the road, once you get the calling and you follow the calling, just know that everything will be provided, and you will know, because it almost will feel like it's just working out so easily and effortlessly. Stay focused is what I was told to sister this morning, and she reminded me that. Stay focused on the outcome you want, not what you don't want. Just, I know that now it's a focus. And then look, every once in a while, that tunnel vision, I understand it, but every once in a while, look around. Is this still the same people, the right team? Is this still the people that, are we still on the same page? Do we still want the same things? You really gotta stay in touch with the divine. Because I admire those people that they got that vision, and that vision is together and they on it. But I will say, me and my ex, there was that vision, we just had other stuff going on. So we have to really just check in with ourselves to make sure that we're on the same, the people, any partnership, anyone. Some people, I realize, and you got to know that, when you're talking about collaboration, you have to know, what is this person bringing to the collaboration, and what am I bringing to the collaboration? Then you both have to feel like you're both equally contributing. Because if one person feels like that they're giving more, then it's not gonna work out, and it's gonna break up ugly. It's almost like sort yourself out, right? Establish who you are, when you get, what do you want, right? Maybe even why do you want it? Where do you see it in the future? And then the universe will bring the people, the places, and the things. Your vision is your vision. It's for a reason. So you can't bring everybody into your vision, because they have their own vision too, and you can't be in theirs. People come together for so many reasons, and you got to know, if this is something you want to devote your life to, then you have to have the right people around you to make sure that it happens. I see a lot with diasporans when they come here, and this is where we go. Sometimes it's our partnerships. We bring, that person may have really come to just assist you in purchasing land. That person might have assisted you to find vendors. but that person is not your person to further go with you on your track. They just people come to assist. Don't forget that on your calling path, they showed up. Don't make that person more than that person is. That person literally came to do this. But we get all into it, and then we partner up, and then because we got so scared, we didn't believe we could do it by ourselves, and we didn't believe that the Creator would allow us to. We didn't believe it. So we kind of get stuck on the road, and everything feels boring, and because you done took the person on, now there's a certain amount of level of care that you have to give. You start feeling responsible. You feel stuck and lost. I admire those people that plowed through and pushed through no matter what, and they kind of did it on their own. But of course, they had assistance. Like I want to move in the world differently. I don't know where that notion I got that I gotta have my man. It gotta be my man. It's gotta be me and my man. It's gotta be my that's something that I need to delve into so that I could move forward. Because why did I even think I needed the validation? I kept thinking, well, they're Ghanaians. I need their validation. But they were not the right Ghanaians. I didn't need validation from a Ghanaian. I needed a Ghanaian that understood the vision. I didn't need the validation, right? I needed the understanding of the vision if I even needed the Ghanaian at that point for that. People come into your life, they say, for a reason. Some people are coming to your life because they can speak the language for that particular deal that you wanted. Or they can get you the carpenter that you didn't have. Some people come into your life to find a carpenter that helps you to build your cabinets. So it's the attachment. Just be very, very, very clear, and then the right people will appear. Be very, very, very clear, and then the right people will appear. But I notice this thing. You think it's easier. Let's get this person. They can do everything. They can do that part. No, every step, the person will show up. The perfect person, the best person to put that sink in. It's funny because I remember when the brother had to go back to Accra. We were going through our stop child. He had to go back to Accra. His brethren that lived there was a town person, Ratty. He actually wanted to be the foreman. I said, oh, Ratty, I'm all up here with myself, but I need a team of people. Can you get it? He got me the electrician, the plumber, the carpenter, the tiler, the mason. I mean, everything. I ain't have to sleep with him. I ain't have to argue with him about what I should be or not be. Do you understand when I say the right people for the job? And when you get there, I didn't have to do any of that. It was natural. And we got it done. Well, Madame, is there anything else? Yes, because you do Madame, is there anything else? Because that was the right person for the job. I remember this last time, so much stuff like, oh my God, I got to stay there myself. I need this person. But the boy next door is a local. I mean, what I was paying for food before, me and the other brother, because we were strangers. They call us strangers in the town. But the local boy, I mean, oh my God, I was like, oh, life is good right about now. All the paint stores, when I'm thinking I got to go to Accra to get this certain paint, they had paint stores there that was fully stocked because people are building houses up there all the time. It's a cautionary tale here too. It's like the universe, when you stop being scared, when you stop being afraid, that is when all the right people, because when you're scared and afraid, you're going to hold on to something for dear life out of fear on both ends. You will be provided for. Keep that in mind. All right, ladies, you will be provided for. I just want to remind you, you will be provided for. Have a beautiful day. You too. Why he say that? Spirit wants us to go in an upward spiral. Yes. Reluctant Garner says, hello, sis. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Thank you. God bless to you, your family. Thank you so much. Check-ins are extremely important. They're so important. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Nicole. Be very clear, and the right people will appear. Thank you. They will, long as you clear. And I'm telling you, because I'm giving you experience of a person been in Ghana for 5 years, how you could do this a little better. And I don't know what that. I think when you come here, people, you do get a little nervous. I'm going to say, because you're about to move to another country, you're going to move to an African country. If you're probably watching me, you might even move here. Don't be so quick to hook up. Because a lot of times, yes, I think diasporans are hooking up with Ghanaians out of fear. If that language starts to, because it's not just one language, it's multiple languages that you absolutely do not know. But I promise you, the Most High will find you a trusted translator that you don't have to sign over your land to help you, that you don't have to pay for their very existence to help you. You can just pay them to talk the language, yes. And I mean, trust it, because you're working in the frequency of a higher frequency. You're following the calling, and everything that's provided for it will come. That's what I see with us. We do. I'll be honest with you, there's two ways. We're not using them, but there's that part of you. You're going to have it too. You're going to be like, the reality, you're going to go to this new country, and they're going to be speaking this language you absolutely do not know. Here's multiple languages. But if you're going to a continent, it's always going to be multiple languages. You know, and then you know or you believe that they're probably going to cheat you, or at least, okay, this would be nice. Let's try to be more positive in my words. They're going to charge you more. Honey, you should have paid. You would have been better off paying the more over there, because you're going to pay a whole lot more holding on to this thing for this. It's not. You don't have to. I'm telling you. So you don't make like. I promise you. You want to come into this country. Yes, you're in a certain part of Ghana where they speak this, or they're Muslim, or they're this, or they're Akan, or they're this. There's an Akan Muslim, Ewe tree person that all you got to do is pay them and trust it, because usually people have been here before you, so they have established those kind of things. I'll tell you, the Cape Coast got a wonderful thing going. They got a book, and they put in the book of these are the carpenters that we've worked with before. This is that we proved they did good work. These are the carpenters. These are the mason. These are the home builders, and a list of the ones that did not do well. There was numerous complaints. That's a smart idea. So now you walk in and you know this is the list. I saw, I'm on these diaspora groups, especially from the Cape Coast, and somebody put out a guy who is a driver. But everybody vouched. I mean, his stats were great, everything he can do. So sometimes when I needed somebody to take me shopping, a lot of times you might need that. I'm talking about you coming to Ghana. You get right with the expat group, and they be like, he can take you on your daily shopping. He is accommodating, and he got your set price. Instead of being like, hey, so-and-so, are you available? You're like, no, my car down. No, my this, that. No, I don't have enough gas. You paying more. Instead of having somebody of quality, it's a great idea. You don't have to hook up with somebody or you don't have to give them half your land because they spoke the language to get it. You're not required to do that. There are people that they're smart, right? There are people here that understand this is an avenue to create a business as a translator towards somebody getting a land. They make great money. They get a great reputation, and they will do a good job because they're getting steady income and they want more. That's another thing. Like I will say, that's another thing. I don't just see it in me. I see it in a lot of diasporans that come here. Another thing, you're already feeling a little isolated because you don't know the language. So you try to attach yourself to this person. They become your whole world, and then when they leave, you feel lost. Don't ever do that. That's the mistake I made. That's why sometimes the breakup is not really the individual. We really wasn't that compatible. It's the taking of, you feel like everything. So you don't establish that. You allow the Most High to establish your life. Don't do that. You don't need to. If you want to buy land, then now this means so many people that have made so many mistakes so that you don't have to. So you just plug yourself. You call Ivy Prosper. You call people that legitimate. There's a brother, Tim something. There's all these African Americans here that got this thing down. And opulence, what is the brother that has the village? That's another brother's name. So now you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to marry this Ghanaian, and then we're going to be able to do this. Now is us and what we own. They not on that level. You're really getting the wrong person. You don't want to do it. It's too much. You're taking on so much when you don't have to. You just simply say, oh, I want to buy land. Where's the reputable places? Who are the reputable people? Tried and true, right? I need somebody to translate for me. I need somebody to drive me around. There's somebody that actually does that work. That is, you pay them, they drive you around. It's platonic. You're gonna do better. You're gonna have less because now you gotta think about, oh no, I gotta get the person off my land, and oh no, you don't get the two mixed up. Don't get it mixed up. You are. What is your plan? What is your focus? What are you doing? Why are you here? Don't get it twisted. And you will do fine. You will do very fine. But that's one lesson I'll say because it gets ugly for no reason. So no, we're not using. We become so afraid. We become afraid. We don't think we can do it. It goes right back to that not trusting. That not trusting yourself. Not trusting. No, forget yourself. Not trusting the divine. Every step of the way, what you need will be perfectly provided for you. And I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. You can make it. You can come. Once you get over that, it's okay that you have to leave the family, that you are actually impeding on their trajectory when you think that they should come do what you do, or vice versa. That's number one. Now you know why you can leave and how good it is. You're preparing the way. That's number two. Because things are coming and they don't know, and that's okay. They don't. You okay? You're not judging. When they're ready, you'll have what you need to have ready. When you partner, you don't have to have a relationship with someone because you need somebody to translate purchasing of land or translate how to purchase or purchase at the market, or because you need a drive around. No, because if that person, the relationship don't work, you lose everything. So possibly your own, what you work for, what you pay for. These are mistakes. And then like I said, I think the first wave of us, and obviously we talk about the idea of waves, like the 2020 was a wave of diasporans coming for different reasons than the retirees and the pensioners came, right? It was a different reason. It was a younger, whether it was younger meaning not retirement age, it was this idea of buying land and establishing and growing stuff. It was a different, but that first wave, we the ones, most of us was married or someone hooked up with a Ghanaian for things that we could have paid somebody to do. You could pay the contractor, would have got the whole thing right if you got the right one. So now we're kind of stuck in something that is not really bringing us the joy, because a lot of times I find Black American women are very entrepreneurial. When I say Black American, I mean Black American, let me say Black women in the diaspora, whether it's the UK, very, 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 very entrepreneurial. Black women in so-called developed countries, so people can get clear and get a visual, in first world countries, tend to be very, very independent and very entrepreneurial. Which means that one idea sparks another idea, but you done got slow-mo, which is not his fault. Slow-mo is out of his league where you going now. It was out of his league when he came. He had his job, but you wanted him to have other jobs. It's our fault too. You don't have to do that. I'm telling you from experience. I mean, there's so many ways that I realize why, in general, you probably shouldn't get with somebody that's not going to probably be able to go as far. It's not for you. There's somebody that can go far. I say, if you come to Ghana, separate the business from the pleasure. You should have the men and women in your life that you are doing business with different than the one that you're having a romantic relationship with. The two doesn't necessarily have to be one. That's our notion in the States, probably, that yes, our husband and I are in this business together. Not that it can't happen here, but if you're the one putting in all the capital and putting in all the time and doing all the work, somebody's going to feel drained, and you're probably going to lose sight of what you came to do. You have a mighty mission. You have everything in you. It's a reason why we were born in Babylon. As much as we want to get out of it, we learned a lot from it that can't really compare to maybe some that didn't have that opportunity. So that's a blessing, and you have to use it and move in the world as if that you have a blessing, that you are blessed. The things that I would have did differently, because then you end up with two people very hurt. One feels like they've been used. They feel like you used them. You didn't use them. You actually overutilized them. You put them in positions that they did not know about, when you could have just paid them to freaking talk the language. You could have just did that. So that is what I'm going to say to the women. Don't mix the business with the pleasure. Stay on your mission because life is getting serious out here. And then you won't be, you know, I'm going to talk to my sisters for a second, coming from these so called developed countries. I don't think it's a good idea to partner um, on the level that you're trying to do with somebody that doesn't have anything. That's not evenly yoked. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, and for a lot of reasons. Let's not get desperate. We're doing fine. It's not that you put anybody down. People have their purpose in your life. People have their purpose in your life. Know their purpose. And more importantly, know yours. And you'll be fine. All right, that's it. That was came to me. Migrate, that's what it is. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to look at that. Okay, thank you for that. Yes. Like button smash. Thank you, Irving Mack. How you doing? Mozambique has 42 local Bantu languages and Portuguese official language. Exactly. Enjoying your conversation because I need a strong vibe. Now, I'm so glad. Irving. Irving says the African American brother is saying Eric McNeil at Migrating Culture Crossing in Eastern Region of Ghana. Thank you so much. Murder May says Black and the Berry Sweet of the Juice. Thank you. Thank you. You know what? And I agree with that. Like, we have to start knowing, and I'll do the same thing so we can help you. We got to start dropping the names of the people so you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. The people that came in the 2020 pandemic, we done made all the mistakes for y'all, okay? We done made all of them. So now the advice I want to give you, I said, we're moving on, okay? We're moving on from all the other stuff that we was doing in the last 3 weeks. That was a time for that. Now it's a time to get a little serious. What we going to do? One day I'll tell you the mistakes that I made. I probably won't even do it here. But you don't have to hook up with somebody because you need some things done. You can pay for what you need. It's worth it, I promise. I promise, yes. We are on another speed. It's just that simple. Hey David, Chicago. Salute Queen to you too. Where are you? I'm in Ghana, West Africa. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you for asking. I'll see you all in the next one because I got calls. But I love y'all. Peace and love.